All right. Hello, this is Marcella. I am now doing a late version of the Tuesday video, October 14th. So sorry it's late. I have just been so busy. Whenever there's a disturbance in the web or whatever, then it takes up a lot of my time. And then I can't get the basic needs for the whole group done. So let me go ahead and get going with this. Since it actually turned out to be longer than I would want to have you sit and listen, I'm cutting it in half. So I'll just end it, and then I personally will start the next one, just continuing on. But I'll put this one up for today, taking care of Tuesday. And then I'll just go ahead and put both of them in their spots, and then you guys can finish watching them when you want to. All right. Let me see. So I just explained it's going to be divided in half. My eyes are so dried out. It is so dry in here. And so I'm getting double vision just trying to see the screen. So I've got the letters really enlarged so that I can see it. So sorry. All right. So anyway, everybody did pretty good last Wednesday, and I didn't hear anything from the Monday group. So the peds clinicals seem to be doing okay. I'm really glad that we're over there. And I do have a secret. I have some good news. To some, it's not as good as they would like. But this has to do with the professional, course number 8, the professional nursing. We were supposed to be at three clinical days. That's all we had for that whole course, which is great. Which we'll probably end up doing 4 just to cover in case something happens. But anyway, because we have to end with a certain number of hours of everything all together. And so if we have a little bit extra, all the better. So y'all be able to graduate at the same time. So that's important. So it's only 8-hour shifts instead of 12 during the professional nursing course. What else was good? Oh, and so we tried to get the, acute critical care units, but they didn't have them for us. So what we were going to have, or what we're going to have, is we're going to be spread around on 3 med-surg floors, and then we'll just have to try to, all do some... we'll try to do some extra stuff in SimLab, for when you guys come on your classroom days. But it just seems like that we're just too busy for anything, and we're only 12 students. So you'd think, God, we have 25. It takes so long to do anything. But then we've got so many other more important things to do. I mean, it really kind of frustrates me. But I'll try to put as much critical care information in the ATI modules as I can, and I'm sure they're already lined up in there for me to look through and pick. So anyway, remember, now everybody's been there, I believe. So remember, the shuttle goes from one place to the other every 15 minutes. So if you get there and you're getting close to time you're supposed to be there, go ahead and call the front desk at the hospital. And I don't know what the number is, but somebody remind me this coming Wednesday to ask them, because we're just calling the front desk, that security guy and the 2 people who sit there, to ask them to go ahead and radio the shuttle bus if it's sitting there right in front of them. And these guys are really nice drivers. If we just tell them we need them to come over right now, I'm late, it's just me, they have no problem, because they aren't doing anything but just sitting there, and they seem to like to be busy. So I think that's pretty nice. So if you find yourself late and the shuttle already left, call that front desk, and since did I even say that? Oh, I didn't even say. So the good thing is, it was going to be over at Baker's that we're going to have that those 3 days in professional nursing, but it's going to be now North NCH. So cool. So it'll be that environment. It'll probably be the med-surg floors, but I kind of found the one next to peds as being pretty helpful and good. So we'll see how it all works out. I'm hoping that it's good. And I have some suggestion for people who, they run out, nothing's happening, and they're running out of things to do, and they don't want to just sit and talk or whatever. And it was suggested to me by Cindy, and it reminded me of my clinicals. And we never had a time where we weren't doing something, because if we weren't taking care of the patients that were assigned us, we were helping other people. And I know that a lot of you do that, so it's very good. But when we weren't doing that, we're at the nurse's station, trying to find a computer or something, or a chart to look up the history of the patients that we're taking care of. And I think that's a real good idea. So we're going to start that. I don't have, the book is already printed for this course, but the course, the OB and mother baby course that's coming up, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the book to write a note, just a note. It doesn't have to be like a bedside note, although I want you to do those too, but a note talking about their history and perhaps how they got there. Of course, they got pregnant, but anything else you can put in there about their history, maybe challenges that they've had, or I don't know, whatever. But that just will help you to actually learn a little bit of something, because I can remember thumbing through those charts and I would learn a lot. I mean, it's just, you have to have that willing desire to learn. Get that hunger going in you. You've only got a few more months to go, so you might as well do the best you can. All right, so let me keep on scooting, because we're already at 7 minutes. Gosh darn it. Okay, so trying to see. So don't forget, in your Canvas, if for some reason you get lost, the map's in there, and it's hard to get lost because it's right off of, you could get lost. So anyway, it's in there. Okay, let me see. Oh, and just a short explanation about the NLN pre-accreditation for the RN program. That is just for the RN program. I wanted to reiterate, all the programs are in their own world, their own set. So ours is here, this RN program is what we worked on, that we got the pre-accreditation. Now, the pre-accreditation, a quick way to just put it is, it takes so long to be accredited by NLN, and they understand that. So nice, they've been around for a long time, so they know that, it's a long process. So we put, those weeks that we were just so consumed with that program, putting our application together. They know how long that takes a long time, and oh my God, it takes a long time. And all of our focus, that's why I fell so far behind. But once that application is done, we're telling them, this is how this program is. Here's the curriculum. This is how it's organized. These are, this is what we use, ATI and yada, yada. They're going to look it over, and it takes a couple months to get to it, but they look it over, a big committee and a board and everything, to see if our program meets the standards to be NLN accredited. And I think there's only a couple places in Florida that are. I'm sure they're going to all start now, but since it isn't a big thing down here on this peninsula, nobody really is focused on it. But there isn't a place you wouldn't, if you were in Kansas City with all that big area, and your school you graduated from wasn't NLN accredited, you would be lucky to ever get a job. So to me, when I came down here, I was just mortified. What? But that's it's a little behind down here, but we're going to pick them up because we're going to get that. So anyway, so they looked at our application, the board and everybody, and decided, okay, your program looks good and it meets all of our standards to be accredited. Now you need to prove it. So knowing that a site visit to prove it is, half a year away, they go ahead and give people who pass that initial, your program looks good thing, they give them what's called a pre-accreditation. With that pre-accreditation, once we've got that, we have 3 years to get around to doing the things that we need to do to prove that we actually do what our program says. But during that time, they're fairly sure that we will pass. So they give people an NLN pre-accreditation standing. And that is what we are in right now. And what that means is you can graduate from here and go to the next college and say, yes, our school is accredited, NLN accredited. You could make those remarks. You could say that because NLN feels like you will be because you follow all the standards and all that. When the people come to do the site visit, I don't know how many days it is, but I know that I will be occupied because I will be explaining everything, showing them, that yes, see, here we do this, here we do that. And it's very time consuming and it's going to be stressful because that will make or break the whole thing. I think we get a second chance, but it's a lot of money to get that second chance. So there's going to be a lot of pressure. And that's one reason why I went ahead and agreed to stay because, I know this program. I put it together off of Fort Myers Outline, Dr. Mary Ann. So I know it in and out. I put it together. I know every piece of it. So I can sit down and successfully talk to a site visit person and get this all done. And I'm pretty assured of it because, I was in administration talking to inspectors and things like that in hospitals as in administration. So I'm fairly used to talking to people who have the power to hurt. So anyway, so that is the explanation for that. So yes, it's a great thing. We got that pre-accreditation. If you call a college and they ask, or you can tell them, and by the way, we're NLN accredited. The only thing that could happen is by 3 years, we haven't been passed on that site visit, but it'd be so funny not to because we do everything they say. It's a good thing. All right, so now, let me see. So I'm going to jump over. I want to talk about the AI plagiarism thing, but I'm going to save that for the second video. But now, since we're already into our 12th minute, I want to go ahead. The next shortest thing is talking about leaving early. So I'll just read what I wrote because I just got finished reading it, and I can read. I got it in bold, print and stuff like that. All right. So a word on leaving early. Since this issue became an issue again with another request on Wednesday, and yes, we all know who it is. It's not like this is 100-person classroom and everybody's asking to leave. It's one that has been regularly, that's been a thing to leave early. So the guideline below will become now part of the rules and regulations of the RN program. So we were faced with this, wanting to leave even more early, and it was like, we need to sit down and talk about this. So rules were made. So, and the main reason is we only meet 48 days out of the entire program. That's it. 1 day a week. It's 1 day a week. Just, make it a priority. Attendance is very important to a program that only meets 48 days a year, the entire year. So no one can leave early from clinicals or classroom without prior authorization. And I mean prior, not like an hour, but I mean prior, like 24 hours or more before the occasion happens. You can make a request to leave early on the classroom or the clinicals. Any last-minute requests will not be considered unless they're proven to be true emergencies. And I mean proven to be true emergencies. This isn't something to be played with or something like that. Because remember, all behavior goes into employability. You're in an RN program. I keep going, oh my God, I don't understand, Anyway, leaving early for any reason at all will result in 3 points. Even if it's an emergency, you will lose 3 points on your employability. You initially get 100 points on each course for employability. You cannot go below 80 and pass that course. So 80 is very important. So if you lose a lot of points or deducted a lot of points for this or that, whatever, you have a chance of dropping below 80. And employability points is a lot harder to help with than like clinicals. I can give you an extra whatever to bump you up a couple of points or whatever. Not much to do on employability. Professionalism and all that other stuff, you can read it in your booklet, is under employability. I can't say, okay, if you become even more professional, because having more than 20 points is saying something right there. So anyway, so this also includes tardiness. The rules say you lose 5 points for each occurrence of tardiness in a course. And if I had held on to that 5 points, we would have already lost some of your peers. So I reduced it down to 3 points. So please beware that it's 3 points now. You know, of course, if we're only meeting 6 days in a course, so if you can just try not to be late, you know, that's 18 points if you're late every single time. And then that doesn't give you much boogie room for an emergency or something like that. All right, so if you do feel you want to leave early, regardless of the program rules, you will have to contact Cindy for permission, and she will want to talk to you about it. This is not a gameplay thing, you know, leaving attendance makes or breaks. I mean, it's very important. Anything that will be known to land on a school day shouldn't be scheduled for a school day. You shouldn't plan that for the next, 5 whatever. Schedule it on a different day, or don't accept to do that. About priorities. If you're wanting to go, every week, you want to go someplace and do whatever, and that's going to cause a problem of breaking rules and leaving early and all this kind of stuff, then you need to make a choice. Is this program a little bit too, much for you, and you need to just do the whatever? It's your choice. Remember, you only have to attend 1 day a week. And that's why each day is precious. This program was only 48 days out of the entire year program. Attempt to schedule another day, or maybe need to check your desire to continue the RN program. Your commitment and obligation to your RN education should be a priority and should be important to you. And that's kind of a big thing. That was kind of a no-brainer, no whatever. Can't do it. Nope. All right. So that's the end of today. Oh, I got to come up. Didn't I? I didn't write in a question. I have to write that in. Let me see. Where can you find a map for NCH that shows you where to park and everything? Where can you find that? And that's a good question. You should know, but just in case, you can look it up. All right. So that's it. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.